I will be talking about esports, or moreover, is esports competitive sports or only recreational activity? First of all, what is sports? It is a form of physical activity with casual and organized participants aims to develop, improve, and maintain physical skills while entertaining people or spectator. What is the history of sports? It goes back at least 3,000 years ago. In the beginning, sports often involved the preparation of war or training hunters, which explain why so many early games involved throwing spears, stakes, and rocks, and sparring one-on-one with opponents. What is esports? Esports are the competitive wing of multiplayer gaming, but there's wide range of ways, plays, and games to play it. Also, involves interactions through a wide variety of online games and platforms. History of esports. The first esports happened all the way back in October 1972 at Stanford University, where students competed in the video games Space War. The grand prize for the winner was a year-long subscription to the Rolling Stone magazine. However, it wasn't until 1980 whereby the first video game competition was held. The Space Invaders Championship had a great attendance of 10,000 people or participants and received widespread media attention since Space Invaders was a household name at the point of time. Now, on this topic, the questions are, do really esports can be considered as a type of sports? Can esports be beneficial in some aspects? Where esports fit within the definition of sports? Disadvantages of esports. Lastly, why do we need esports to be considered as a type of sports? Now, electronic sports, cyber sports, gaming, competitive computer gaming, and virtual sports are all synonyms for term esports. Regardless of term used, esports is now becoming more accepted as a sport, and gamers are being identified as athletes within society today. Esports has infiltrated higher education in the form of an intercollegiate athletic sport, as two university athletic departments have made esports an official varsity sport, where scholarships are provided to collegiate esports athletes. Thus, the intertwining of esports and university athletes bring into question whether esports should be considered sports by broader society. This article provides a brief history of esports, a further developed definition and comparison of esports to traditional philosophical and sociological definition of sports. Abstract esport. Organized video game competitions are growing in popularity with top tournaments drawing crowds of spectators, rivaling traditional sports. Prior research examined esports is in isolation from traditional sports, overlooking direct comparisons to understand the degree to which esports spectators are motivated similarly to traditional sports spectators. In South Korea, spectators' motives across traditional sports and two esports contexts were measured. Manova, a company, results identify similar pattern for 11 out of 15 motives across the The three. The current studies demonstrates that traditional sports and esports are similarly consumed, suggesting that traditional sports and esports suggesting that sport industry professional can manage and market esports events similarly to traditional sports events. Disadvantages of esports. Even an author said, too much sitting can cause obesity. Looking at the monitors can cause eye itchiness, wrist hurting, and hands. Based on my own experience as a gamer, there are more types of disadvantages for esports. This is only the common disadvantages on our health because of esports. Now, my conclusions. Based on the article, I said esports can and cannot be sports. Some experts say esports doesn't fit the word sports because majority of sports happening in the real world happens with the exertion of physical strength. For others, esports can be considered as a type of sports because it has components of normal sports. The author of the article suggests that debates surround the degree to which esports represent formal sports, and disagreement likely stem from the conceptualization of sports and context. Such, such a position is consistent with the broad view of sport and context. Adapted, Such a position is consistent with the broad view of sport adopted by Sports Management Review. The perspective that esports represent a formal sportification and association among esports and various outcomes, including physical and psychological health, social well-being, sports consumption outcome, and diversity and inclusions. For me, esports should be considered as a sport because esports give that benefit to interact, befriend, learn, and develop individual skills of players or people playing online games. Us in Southeast Asia have recently played the SEA Games, wherein we Asians or Filipinos played the same esports in it like Dota 2 or League of Legends. That's all for my speech. Thank you.